As 2022 wound up, Nigerians took stock of the outgone year and looked forward to better things in 2023. They wanted the government to focus on 13 priority areas, from alleviating poverty and improving healthcare to empowering youths and tackling corruption. The areas stood out in a year-end survey by NY Polls. 49% wanted the government to focus attention on security.
It's hard for us to sleep and wake up without fear. So basically security, as in they really need to empower the security.
39% wanted the government to focus on job creation.
We look around, see people opening their small kiosks, having their own businesses, opening their own companies, and most of them do that without support from the government, which is not really ideal.
And 35% wanted it on education.
If the citizens of his country is well educated and everything needed in the educational sector is put in place, you will discover that the rate at which insecurity and other vices thrive in the country will reduce.
Having satisfied the requirements of the law,
by February 2023, the country went to the polls to vote state and federal lawmakers, governors, and a president. Surveys in the run-up to the elections showed voting patterns raised questions about readiness for the polls and showed the level of trust in the elections regulator INEC. A new precedent emerged, though the results of the polls are being contested at a petitions tribunal. By May 29th, the new president has been inaugurated and a new government has begun work. But Nigerians still have a lot to demand of democracy, especially one with a special day to commemorate it. Their demands range from satisfaction with the way democracy works in Nigeria and how well they enjoy the dividends of democracy, to the top challenges to Nigeria's democracy, and most importantly, their expectations for the new democratic government. 7 in 10 Nigerians see democracy is a preferable type of government to any other kind of government. According to a survey by NOI Polls and its continental partner Afrobarometer, 63% qualify the country's democracy. Half of them say it is democracy with major problems. 13% say it is not a democracy. That proportion has risen by 22% since 2020.
Will you say you have or you are enjoying the dividends of democracy?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
So, but what are the top 3 challenges to Nigeria's democracy?
First is the issue of this fuel scarcity. Fuel prices is too much. You know, we can't afford it. So many things are going high in the market. Like what I used to afford now is high. So it's not really balanced at all. It's not comfortable with it.
So what are you expecting from the new? What are you expecting of the new democratic government? The new government.
Yeah, the new government. I'm really expecting them to bring a great change for us. Let everybody have the freedom of walking about and access to have what we want to. Like, first of all, the fuel, as I'm saying, and money should be there. Money is there, no low cash again, actually. So they should create more jobs for us.
77% of Nigerians say they are not satisfied with the way democracy works in the country, and that has risen to 20% since 2017.
Overall, I'm satisfied, and it's been good, even though we have few disagreements here and there, which is bound to happen because the government cannot actually satisfy everybody at the same time. So I think we are still in the process, and it's been fair enough. So far, I've been enjoying the dividend of democracy personally. Yes, I have. Insecurity, corruption, and lack of accountability. My expectations are to improve the economy, also improve the security level of the country, and also make other government institutions, strengthen government institutions, and also strengthen traditional institutions, and also the well-being of the citizens of the country.
As for choosing leaders, like in February, 71% support elections as the best way. Tribunals have ruled and still have to rule on the outcome of elections, and 27% of Nigerians say, since elections sometimes produce bad results, the country should adopt other methods of choosing leaders. Interestingly, 70% of Nigerians believe elections don't work well to ensure the views of voters are reflected and do not enable voters to remove leaders who do not do what the people want.
We've all seen it through the last election now. It's not actually the will of the people, but that's democracy. That's democracy practice in Nigeria. At least we enjoy some of the basic privileges like the necessary freedom of movement, speech and all the rest of that. But they are still where we are lacking a lot. So hopefully the government will do better. One of the top 3 challenges to Nigerian democracy for me is, number one, the rights to expression, because mostly now our rights to speech are even being restricted. And then I feel like sometimes it's not actually what we want. That's what they do. The government don't actually put us in line. It's democracy now. Government for the people. So we are not actually in line to actually decide what we want. They decide for us.
Nigerians always make a demand on democracy. It is for the government to yield to the yearnings of its citizens. It is an important task for the government to make democracy, and with it a new administration, work for the betterment of Nigerians. It remains to be seen if the government will take up this dutiful task and bring about the much needed change in the country.